All right, the Padres, they lose again. They lose game 2 here, 8-6 to the Dodgers. Mike Schultz will probably say this post game. They fought, they kept it close, and I'm not gonna lie. Like when I saw that it was a tie game at 3-3, with everything that was going on, it didn't seem like it was a tie game. It felt like the Dodgers were blowing out the Padres. Maybe I'm the only one that felt that way. I don't know, but yeah, it was an entertaining watch because of so many things that happened, but also at the same time, it wasn't entertaining. Like it was just, um, you know, sitting in hell. Like when you're at Dodger Stadium and you got, obviously Andy Pages. It's the reverse jerks in Profar essentially, where Manny comes in yesterday and to the media after the game and talks about how, yeah, there's a bunch of other big dogs we could go at if we wanted to actually throw at someone. Um, you know, and then Andy Paez comes up today and hits a couple of bombs. And what was his final line? How many RBIs did he have? 3 RBIs. He went 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs, and he's their freaking 7 hitter. Like this team's really freaking talented. And Shohei went 0 for 4 and struck out 4 times, and the Dodgers scored 8 runs and won this game. Just it sucks. They're so freaking talented. They're just so talented. Um, and again, like yesterday, there were some missed spots from Dylan Cease, but then there was also like not strikes that the Dodgers still were able to hit. And sometimes you just got to tip your cap to that. Like Will Smith today taking that ball that was now I get it. That's kind of like a still kind of in their groove spot, if that makes sense, because it's a right-handed hitter, pitch in, down and in, and it wasn't like uncomfortable down and in, but it was down and in, if that makes sense. And Will Smith can hit that out. The Vasquez one to Pages, though, the second home run, that was right down the middle. Just some of these pitches, it was just way too much of the plate, or allowing guys to get extended. And yeah, like the Padres, they got back out to an early lead again today, and the Dodgers, though, like almost immediately were able to come back and tie it. And Randy Vasquez, like he did his job, especially when you're facing the Dodgers. Like, what's our expectation going in with Randy Vasquez on the mound? It's to be honest, I'm fine with 5 innings and 3 runs. I know he gave up a couple of homers, but it is Randy Vasquez. This is not the ace of the rotation here that we're talking about. I think with Dylan Cease, we should have higher expectations than Randy Vasquez going into any start. You know, um, so yeah, Jeremiah Estrada didn't get an out, 5 earned runs. It seemed like he continued to keep going to that splitter, even though he wasn't able to locate the splitter. And then it was almost like a high schooler was pitching with that splitter because Dodger hitters were just waiting on it. And you're just making it easier on them because that splitter, it's not like it was down. The splitter was up in the zone. And so it's kind of just like floating up there, and Dodger hitters can just wait on it. I think it was Tommy Edman that just, wait on it, and boom. And Pages, same thing. So that's frustrating. I know Jeremiah Estrada has been going through some personal things. What was it, last week with his uncle in the car crash? Seems like everything's fine, though, with his family. And I doubt he would use that as an excuse tonight. But he's facing a really good lineup. And we know that Jeremiah Estrada is a very talented pitcher. But you got to lock in for every batter. Like, you can't take any breaks with this Dodgers lineup. And it just didn't seem like he had the best feel for some of his pitches tonight, especially that splitter, and maybe went to it a little bit too much. But I'm just a fan sitting here on the couch watching the game. I'm not Ruben. I'm not Ben Fritz. I'm not Estrada, obviously. It was frustrating offensively when you had, first and second, Xander grounds into a double play, grounded out later. I want to say 8th inning as well. I liked in the 8th inning how I thought it should have happened earlier in the at bat, but Tyler Wade ends up striking out looking, but that allows Crony to get to second base. Earlier in that bat, I thought Crony had an even better uh, a better jump to get to second base, but Wade fouled it off. Let me go to that inning. I think it was the 8th. Yeah. Crony singled, then stole second. Bryce Johnson singled. And that's part of the thing, like having no Campy, but you add someone like Bryce Johnson, it adds the speed, that speed factor to it. And he gets there first and second, um, now second and third, actually, when Bryce Johnson is able to take second base. So you have that situation, but you got Elias Diaz up, and he strikes out. And they intentionally walk Fernando, which is smart because it brings on the left versus left matchup. Luis Ariz, if you're the Dodgers, you're like, yeah, you don't even have to throw him a strike, and he's going to swing. And Ariz pops out to end the inning there. Just frustrating with some of the opportunities that they had, and obviously the result of what happened. I think it's only fair to continue to mention that this team is without Jackson Merrill. You know, having Jackson Merrill up in some of these situations, I know he's not, you know, as impressive as last year right now. Just, his year in total, but it's still Jackson Merrill. Like, you look at this lineup, and sorry, Brandon Lockridge in center field hitting 218 with a 525 OPS. It was cool seeing Trenton Brooks get that home run. His first big league homer. San Diego kid, grew up watching Channel 4 and Chase Headley and going to games. And so to have his first big league homer be in a Padre uniform at Dodger Stadium, that's pretty cool. Hopefully he can get that ball back, but you know, it is Dodger Stadium, so wouldn't count on that. There was obviously fireworks in this game. I didn't love how the umpire did this, to be quite honest. Tatis gets drilled in the back, and then there's no warnings. Shohei gets hit, not in the back, in the leg, and there's a warning to both teams. Now, Dave Roberts gets ejected and whining like a little baby, and that was funny to watch. But to have no warning after Tatis gets drilled in the numbers, like literally on the 2 of his 23, to have no warnings, then get a warnings to both sides after he gets hit, I don't like that. And there's people on. I expressed my opinion on social media already about it, um, and just kind of like that Otani bias is what it feels like. To be quite honest, I know I'm biased as a Padres fan, but that's just what it feels like. Um, and you know, people on social media replied like, "Well, come on, Ben, that's a dumb take. They're not going to give a warning after one hit batter. It's after two. When players from both teams get hit." But to me, like, I didn't reply to people directly, but well, I think I did to one. But anyway, I'm thinking in my head like, well, no, actually, it's kind of you guys that don't know ball because go look back at history. There's plenty of times where warnings have been issued in the first inning of a game after one guy gets hit because umpires are trying to set a tone like, no, we're not going to be doing this today. We're not going to be starting a back and forth beanball battle. That's not going to be happening. And it's not like this was the first game of the series. No, there was stuff that happened yesterday. And clearly both teams hate each other. Fan bases hate each other. It's just, it's not pretty. And you allow Tatis to get hit like that, and there's no warning. But again, then when Shohei gets hit, there's warnings. I feel like there should be a warning like right after a star player on one of the teams gets hit in the middle, square in the numbers. There should be warnings there. It's Padres Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, coming off of yesterday, and Andy Paz getting hit, and then he gets pissed off. Like, I just disagreed how they handled that. I love that Dave Roberts got ejected, but yeah, didn't love that. And then later in the game, Jose Iglesias gets hit, and I know that's not a star player. And was it intentional? Probably not. But what's the point of sending warnings and then someone gets hit and he has to exit the game and there's no ejection. Like nothing happens. What's the point? So now it's just up to the umpire's opinion. I mean, I love that Manny was outside the dugout and he was pissed off. It seemed like he was talking to the umpires, like, we're just going to let that go. Like, what are we doing here? So I love that fire from him. But, like, yeah, just, I don't, I didn't like it. I didn't like just the way that it was handled. Um, but I think we're steering away, obviously, from the issue, which is, the Padres dropping both games here. And, there's questions about the offense and, like, who can we trust in this offense at the moment? Very few guys. Do you want to trust Gavin Sheets? Okay, I can buy that. Manny, okay. But Xander in a clutch situation? No. Anyone at the bottom of the order in a clutch situation? Arise right now? I know he got a few hits today, and he was a reason why the Padres were in this game. And Schilt would probably mention that in his post-game presser if he's asked about Luis Arise. But, I mean, you go look at recently here for Luis Arise in, you know, big situations, and what has he done? I wonder what splits they have here on MLB.com. I'm just trying to see runners in scoring position. It says he's hitting 300 this year. Is there a high leverage option? Okay, so late and close. This is according to MLB.com, and the stats are updated like as it happens. So I'm pretty sure this is like 100% accurate. Um, Late and close situations, he's hitting 194 this year. Luis Ariz. 194 with what's his OPS? A 504 OPS. And he's not known for his power, I get it. But some of the stuff, just, the last Dodger series, swinging when you should be being more patient, in my opinion. Swinging at pitches that aren't strikes. Today, I think that was a strike that he swung at outside part of the plate, but he pops up there in that late and close situation in the eighth inning. The Padres, they acquired Luis Ariz so that he would get on base and he'd be like the closest to a guarantee to get a hit in situations like this. And it's been disappointing, I think, this season. He's known for his batting average, and you look at his batting average, and it's 280. So, like right there, you're probably like, yeah, something's not there. Is he battling through an injury, or balls just aren't falling? He's not striking out. I think I saw Kevin Acee write that his strikeout rate's like less than 2%. So, I know there's some fans that love that he doesn't strike out, which I love too. But there's also like some stuff that are drawbacks as well about Ariz that we've seen this year. Some people may want to, have this go down the road of the lineup conversation and where should Ariz hit? Should it be different? And I'm just going to go with the same answer. Like, these are our guys. We can be pissed off about it. I'm still going to root for every single one of them because this is my team. But yeah, like we're irritated about it. But who are you going to have go hit 1-2? Jackson Merrill's not healthy. You're going to have Manny. Like, where are you going to have Manny hit? You're going to keep him in the 3 spot. You're not moving Bogarts up. You're going to move Crony up. Like, Iglesias doesn't play every day. You're going to have Tyler Wade lead off. Like, what's the solution here? Shifting 1 or 2 guys in the order to, like, move Bogarts down to 8th or something, like maybe some fans probably want. Like, what really is the impact there with that? I just don't see how big of an impact that is. Like, the bottom line is your guys, Tatis, Ariz, Manny, Gavin Sheets, we should include in that because of how he's been performing this season. His OPS is over 800. We should include Bogarts and Crony with the contracts they have and the talent that they've shown in the past. Um, some fans would be like, "No, you shouldn't include Bogarts because we can't trust him to come through in big situations." And this is not the Boston Red Sox, Xander Bogarts, but whether we like it or not, he's part of the core. He just is. And he's going to be hitting in the top 5, top 6, definitely in the order. That's just how it's going to be. He's not going to go hit 8. They're not going to do that. And so they're going to need to perform. They're going to need to come through in these late and close situations, these clutch situations. And if they don't, then Padres aren't going to go where they want to go. That's just what it is. They can be looking for left field help. They can look for catching help, which wasn't pretty again tonight. But those are pieces around the edges. Could they come up with huge, hits or something in the postseason? Yeah. But we know where, the bread and butter of the Padres is, if you will. It's those big guys. It's, you look at the pitching side, those starting pitchers. Obviously, there's guys on the shelf that are huge to, the Padres either having the chance to go deep or not, right? But like you look at Dylan Cease, he's part of that. Nick Pivetta, he's part of that. Like your big guys, if they're gonna step up, then you got a chance. I believe you have a chance with the Dodgers, but that hasn't been the case this year, for the most part. And so this is where the Padres sit. The division, keeps creeping away now. I know it's June and there's still matchups against the Dodgers, obviously, to come, and they could play much better against the Dodgers later down the road. And who knows about the health of some guys, right? Again, they're without Jackson Merrill. He's a big part of this team. But all we can do is react to what's happening right now, and it's not very pretty. Uh, watching these games, not a lot of optimism, to be quite honest. It's exciting, like I'm entertained watching it, but I'm in this to watch my team win, and especially when it's against a team that I hate the most out of any sport, any team, like clearly far, not even close. Um, yeah, it hits different for sure. So we'll see about an Iglesias update. 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position today. Padres got Kolek tomorrow. I think Emmett Sheehan for the Dodgers. I did want to mention Tatis getting tagged out by Mookie today, but Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire, saved Fernando. Just got to be more aware. He thought he was out, but like you got to be looking at the umpire and don't leave that base until he tells you to leave in a situation like that. If you're questioning if you were out or not, if you didn't see the umpire call you out, you didn't hear him call you out, then stay on the bat. Because and the Padres scored. Tatis scored in that inning, by the way. I think to make it a 2-run game because Michael Kopech got his cleat stuck in the dirt in the mound and balked, and so Tatis walked in. So it's not like that run was driven in either. But yeah, it was a little bit of a painful watch for sure. That Mike Schilt clip that I posted yesterday. Who the F do you think you are to Andy Pages? Well, that thing is aging like, I don't know, moldy bread. It's bad. This is literally the reverse of Jerks and Profar last year. It's a smaller name guy. Now Profar, sure, former top prospect, and people know Jerks and Profar, I think, more than Andy Pages, nationally, when this happened last year. But you have a significant player on one team go to talk about, well, this guy overreacted on this side. If we wanted to hit someone, we'd hit someone better than this guy. This guy is nothing. um, and then that guy ends up whooping you later in the series. It was awesome last year when it was us. It's not so awesome seeing Andy Pages take us deep 2 times and then drive in and get another hit. And he's probably going to be an all-star this year. Like Profar was an all-star last year. Like literally, it's pretty identical here. Um, we'll see how long Pages is with the Dodgers, and Profar was more of a 1 year like great. I know 2022, but like 1 year great all-star story. Like finally, right? Where Pages, we'll see, how long with the Dodgers. But he seems like the real deal, and it's not like they needed another guy to go do damage against the Padres. I think they're stacked enough. They were giving out, really rubbing it into the Padres. Blake Snow bobblehead yesterday. I think they did a replica World Series championship trophy, and it's like you played the Yankees a couple weeks ago. You could have done it then, but we all know it's the rivalry. It's the best rivalry in baseball right now, and both teams have fun with it. If we were on the Dodgers side, like, and we won the World Series, you bet we would rub it in their face. Of course we would. So that's what sports is, and I'm not feeling great about the Padres' chances of splitting this series. Winning the last 2 games, but I guess crazier things have happened. They can, but yeah, I guess all I'll say to end this is, Jackson, we miss you.